Hey everybody, welcome to Bend with Bree. Today we're going to be doing a straddle pose masterclass. So focusing on form and different variations we can do in doing long holds in straddle pose. So we're going to get started here in a kind of narrow straddle pose, flexing and pointing your feet. So flexing and pointing your feet when you're in the stretch is going to change the stretch a lot. Another thing I'm doing here is bending and straightening my knees. The reason I want you to practice that in your straddle variations is when you are doing straddle, your knees have tendency to do a little micro bend as you start to bend over. And this bend can lessen the stretch. So when you're doing straddle, I want you to focus on pressing the backs of your knees into the floor by slightly flexing your legs. When you flex your toes, it's going to give you a deeper calf stretch. And when you point them, it's going to lessen the calf stretch. It is a little bit of a prettier variation. You know, if you're going for an aesthetic type of deal, it also stretches the tops of your feet a lot when you're pointing your toes. So in this narrow straddle, I started by placing my hands on the mat, slightly rocking back and forth, and now I'm starting to walk myself forward. What I want you to focus on, instead of grabbing your feet, I'm starting to flex here instead of point, is not doing what I just showed you on screen. So you don't want to round your back and reach your head towards the floor. It's much better to stay upright with the flat back. You want to focus on bending with your hips, almost thinking of leading with your belly button. There's a natural curve that will happen, but it'll happen at the very bottom. So go ahead and place your hands on the mat, and you're going to do a cat-cow in straddle. If it's in your practice, when you arch, you can put your elbows on the floor. So you're just rounding and arching. Very nice. Just hold. I'm holding with my elbows on the floor. You can do your hands. A nice little stretch here to get your arms as well is to cross your arms. You're going to grab your right foot with your left hand and your left foot with your right hand and bend over slightly, then switch. You're going to notice this gets into your upper back, your hamstrings, also the fronts of your shoulders. Now what you want to do is slide or walk your hands forward and then come back in. You don't have to go all the way down. This will also work your core, so keep your core tight. Sliding in and out, in and out. Maybe that's just a little bit or all the way. Out, in, out, in, out, in, out, hold. Hold your deepest narrow straddle, and I want you to widen slightly. So where you're starting to feel a deep stretch, but not quite the widest you can go, and just shift back and forth here. Flex and point your toes, feeling how that changes the stretch when you flex and point. So place your hands on the mat in front of you. Core in, holding and breathing. Feeling how deepening the straddle changes the stretch for you. Now I want you to widen your hands and just rock back and forth. Right, left, right, left, right. And now walk it forward even more and bend and straighten your elbows. Bend, straighten, bend, straighten, bend, straighten. And elbows all the way down. Very nice. Just holding here. Now we're going to do cat-cow. You're going to round and arch, round, arch, round, arch, round, arch, round, arch, and then come forward into your deepest straddle. Again, I'm going to keep reminding you in this class, bending from your hips, core tight. Press the backs of your knees into the mat here. Don't lose sight of that. Just breathe. These long holds can be really difficult, not only from a flexibility standpoint, but from a muscular standpoint. Go ahead and walk your hands to the left here. That can be either on your palms, elbows, or all the way down. Then come to your right. Feel how that gets into the side body too, maybe a little bit more in the inner thigh. Back to center. Walk yourself back in. So we're going to do the slides again, but prior to that, we're going to do like some push-ups in straddle. So you can come all the way down or just slightly bend your elbows. Down, push up, down, push up, down, push up, down, push up, down, push up. This is a nice active stretch. Shake it out. You're doing so good. Now slide forward, just a little bit or all the way, and pull yourself in. Slide forward. And then you can also try and walk yourself forward because it does get difficult on your core to pull yourself back in from sliding. So slide and walk back. Slide, walk back, slide, walk back, slide, walk back, slide, pull yourself in, slide, hold. Awesome, awesome job. Go ahead and place your hands behind you and just lift your hips a little bit, giving a little bit of a reprieve but not leaving straddle. Now I want you to come into your widest straddle pose. Starting with just holding that, feeling how that feels in your body, breathing. Go ahead and place your hands on your knees and just shift side to side here. You can place your hand on one knee and do a side body stretch to the right, then a side body stretch to the left, back to center. Place your hands on the mat and hold. Even when you're just on your palms here, this will start to feel like a very deep stretch when you're in your deepest straddle. So go ahead and bend and straighten the elbows. Bend, straighten, bend, straighten, bend, straighten. Walk it forward a little bit more and place your elbows on the floor if that's in your practice. And you're going to push up into cat and cow. Round, arch, cat, cow, round, arch, round, arch. Hold, breathe, straight spine. Now come all the way down if you can. This is a very, very deep stretch, so do not worry at all if you can't come to this posture here. It is truly not about how deep you get your straddle pose. This is about learning the form, how to engage the right muscles, different variations you can try. You can try to do a pancake straddle here, reaching for your ankles or toes. I like to do like a little shoulder stretch where I grab my opposite wrist behind me. You're doing amazing. Just a couple more minutes here. Pancake straddle, normal straddle. Go ahead and walk yourself all the way to the left. So the same thing we did in that slightly more narrow straddle, but on this side instead. Now what I want you to do is place your hands on both sides of that left leg and just bend your elbows towards the knee and straighten. Bend, straighten, bend, straighten, bend, straighten. And then walk it to the other side. Side stretch on the opposite leg, that right leg. Remember your knees. Flat to the mat, toes pointed. Now hands on each side of the right foot and bend and straighten your elbows. Bend, straighten, bend, straighten, bend, straighten. Come back to center. Those push-ups, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Walk yourself forward and walk yourself back in. Slide forward, walk yourself back in, 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 slide forward, hold. Hold and breathe. Thank your body for all the hard work it did today. I really hope this helped you learn more variations of straddle, some things you can do to work on your form. Go ahead and place your hands behind you. Just push up, do a back bend before bringing your feet back together. Easy pose, shake it out. Bounce your knees. Place your hands above your head, hands to the heart. Taking a deep breath in and out. Great job. Thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to like and subscribe for more. Bye.